The group that this paper is referring to is ZF Sachs Automotive of America in Florence, Kentucky. They moved the company to Mexico because it was cheaper for them to produce the parts, but before they moved their company to Mexico, they were doing some illegal activities here in the United States, and I'm going to show you what this company was doing.
This is just a small sample of the labels that they were peeling off. Okay, as you can see, these are the labels they peeled off. Says made in Germany. All of these says made in Germany. Well, once they would peel these stickers off, they would put these stickers back on that says made in the USA before shipping them out to their customers, one of their customers being GM. As you can see here in this photo, there are several boxes of Nevomat shocks. There's 48 shocks to a box before they start taking them out with these labels on them. As you can see the yellow label on there, and you can see how many shocks are in this box. Now here is the shock with the label on it. It says made in Germany that they've been peeling off. Here is an Nevomat shock with the label on it on top of a box with more shocks in it. The yellow label says made in Germany. The parts behind it are the ones that have been relabeled already with blue labels that says made in the USA. As they would pull them out and relabel them, they would stack them on the other box next to it. So once they were done, they could put them back in the box that they had taken them out of, making sure that each part was relabeled made in the USA. These are very expensive shocks that are sold to GM. Now, for as long as I can remember working at Sachs Automotive in Florence, the Lincoln Navigator and Escalade, their parts would come in from Germany, and they would put a little bushing in the bottom of the shock, and they would add these labels to the shock that says made in the USA. Well, these shocks were actually completely assembled in Germany. All the company did was put a bushing in one end of the shock. They had nothing to do with making that shock.
Here's what the shock looks like when it comes in from Germany to the United States and to the plant. It's wrapped in plastic, already assembled, as you can see here in this picture, with its own label already attached to it that says that it's made in Germany. This is the shock absorber after the bushing has been put in one end and a bumper has been put on the other end, and a label that says made in the USA has actually been attached to the shock. Here's a closer picture. As you can see, the purple label says made in the USA. After these bushings were put on and these labels were placed on the shocks, they were shipped out to Ford for the Navigator and the Lincoln Continental automobiles.
On March 7th, 2008, these labels here were peeled off of shocks that were made in 2007. They were replaced with labels that said they were made in 2008.
They were also bringing older Toyota parts in from the other warehouse and peeling this label off in order to put this label on the part that says 2008 to make it look like it was brand new, just to get rid of the shocks.
Okay, there's another example of changing manufacturing dates. This is on 8/12/2008. This one here, they were peeling this part off. The part was made back in 07 and putting this part on it that says it was made in 08. So these are 1-year-old shocks that they were putting newly manufacturing dates on. These parts were peeled off the shock on March the 6th, 2008. If you look at this, I believe it goes, the 10 represents how many days into the year. This is the year, this is the shift, and this is shock number 8 that came off the line. These labels were peeled off on February 1st, 2008. The parts were sent to the Ford company. They were sent there from Mexico, and they found that they were oil leaking out of the shock, so they rejected the whole order. And instead of sending these parts back to Mexico, they sent them to the Sachs plant over in Florence. So what they done was take these shocks and they turned them around by taking these labels off. It says made in Mexico, and they replaced them with these labels that says made in the USA with a new manufacturing date, and they shipped them right back to the Ford company. But of course, Sachs had all their people check each shock and relabel each part before shipping these parts back to the Ford Motor Manufacturing Company. After having a few conversations with management about this issue with label changing, I was threatened to be fired, and then eventually I was given 3 days off for being accused of investigating their labels. So in the end, they told me that they would start using these labels here to replace the other labels that they peel off.